hormone problems, you're going to have brain chemistry problems, and if your brain gets compromised, it's upper management, and now your immune system is going to go down, and so all of our patients are going to get that special treatment where we're going to look at all that. So let's get back to where you are today. This story has no value, folks, unless we have a good ending, all right? Unless we're able to say, man, this is one of those wonderful moments. And for us around here, Fridays are sad days. They're happy sad days because these folks are going to be leaving us today. And but we're glad because they're leaving for a reason, that we've had some great success here. So now let's talk about that. We talked about the sad days. We should probably sing a sad song. Maybe we should write a blues song about the past. But let's spend a few minutes talking about the future now. And so 10 weeks out, when I talk to patients, I hope I said this to you. I'm trying to think, when we talked, I was fairly new on this job when you and I talked.
Yes, yeah.
And I was just trying to discover everything I could. But when I talk to patients today, and I probably said this to you, that historically, because everybody wants to know a timeline, how long will I need to be treated? And for Lyme patients, that always falls, almost always, without exception, falls into that 6-week, 12-week protocol. You're at 10 weeks. So when the bugs are involved, when there's parasites involved, mold, man, we can pull mold out. There's nobody in this country that can pull mold out like we can. We can do that very quickly. But when parasites are involved and that nasty biofilm, that we talk about, it slows the process down a bit. And so historically, it always, best case scenario 6 weeks, worst case scenario 12 weeks. You fell right into that typical timeline at 10 weeks.
They originally told us 12 or more based on her results,
Yeah.
and as she progressed more quickly, it went down to 10.
And this was because,
so it was good.
I believe because, first, two things. First, I give credit to our doctors and nurses. And your nurse was who on this trip?
I started off with Dawn, and now...
We moved Dawn into another capacity, so then you were...
Dennis.
So Dawn started you out. Beautiful nurse, takes good care of our people, but we made a move for her to take care of the patients as they're first coming in.
Yes.
More of a...
triage system.
Yeah, for all of our patients, I tell people, you're going to see a nurse every day. And so if for no other reason, just to monitor... I saw that again. What is wrong with you, woman?
Time of day. It's the bright lights.
You got like a 4-day journey. You're going to be able to sleep. So don't be sleeping on this. And so then Dennis took over, and Dr. Crozier was the doctor that overseed all of this, and they all do great jobs. I love to learn from them and see how they treat. And so you're leaving here with some great expectations. And tell us about how you feel, at this particular point. And when people talk to me, because I was treated here myself, I tell them even that I had waves of healing that came to me, a month out, 2 months out, 3 months out. For 12 years that I knew, probably much longer, because honestly, as a boy, I was always in the woods, and as best, there was always check for ticks at the end of every journey, but every trip to the woods. But 12 years that it hurt my body. 12 years it had to destroy things, and so my healing just kept coming back in waves and waves. And so, where are you at right now? We haven't seen you in a wheelchair for a while.
No, over the past 4 weeks.
About 4 weeks now.
I've been stronger. I've been able to walk. Only had a couple of bad days. I'm more awake. I'm not as tired. I can last longer in the day.
More stamina each day. And
less brain fog, for sure. Concentrate much better.
Yeah.
And she hasn't had pain.
Oh.
She has not, even with doing more activity now, she's not getting the pain she used to get.
Because I'm trying to work out more.
Oh,
and
no,
she
here we
started
go.
working out. She was doing
Push-ups.
crunches and sit-ups.
Crunches.
And she's getting back into it.
Oh my goodness, that's exciting.
And she has a basketball camp scheduled, not next week, but the week after.
No kidding.
Just what she can do. We know that she might not be able to run yet, but at least they're willing to let her go to the camp and do what she can.
Get started. You're testing the waters, so to speak,
Yeah.
seeing what is, and I get that.
Yeah.
Anyone that's overcome Lyme understands that. We start slowly working back in and exercising, stretching, and I've been, right now I'm currently blessed. I'm renting a home that has an in-ground swimming pool, so you come by my house sometimes before daylight, I'm out there
Good.
swimming,
Yeah.
trying to get joints moving that haven't. Our chiropractor quoted something to me recently that he said, I can always tell when a Lyme patient has come into my clinic. Of course, he's been over here, and we have a great relationship. He's done a lot for me, but he says when a Lyme patient comes in here, he says their back is always going to be locked up more than anybody else. And so he has to start working on trying to, well, that's where I was when I first went to him. I was,
Because you're inactive at the point you're getting so bad, all you can do is sit around and go, when is the pain going
well,
to
yeah,
go?
and
You can't do anything.
the awful pain, the Lyme,
Yeah.
the Lyme bacteria literally begins to erode the myelin sheaths in our body, and of course, all of that's going to create more and more pain and discomfort and immobility, and so it's a nasty thing. And so 4 weeks. Do you miss that wheelchair at all? Do you,
People say like they don't like the wheelchair, but I always had fun.
Because her friends would push her around at school.
Yeah.
But her school didn't have an elevator,
Okay.
and there was days where she'd have to go up on her
Okay.
bum because she
Okay.
didn't have the strength
all right.
to
Yeah.
get up. And then
Yeah.
her principal would carry the wheelchair up after. It was tough. There was days.
Well,
It was,
you weren't drawing on anybody's sympathy. You weren't trying to get the good-looking boys to come and give you a little attention. Is that why you were staying in that? I'm teasing you.
no, she got out of it whenever she could. Like the day she could walk, she was walking. It was
I think we're going to do some follow-up video to this in a few
Yeah.
moments of you
trying to run.
run and moving
Jog,
around,
Yeah.
and that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Well, what have we missed? What should we talk about in closing here?
I don't know.
I'm happy with everything that has happened. I love being here. I know she's enjoyed every minute. You learn so much from the doctors, but you also learn from the other patients. It's like a close-knit family, and it's great.
Yeah, well, you do learn. Everybody here has
Yeah.
a story to tell, and
Yeah.
it's good to learn from them. And many of them are very Lyme literate.
Yes.
They've been sick so long, they've studied everything they possibly can.
They've
and-
tried everything before
tried
coming here
everything.
as well. So this is like
I
a lot
know.
of people's last hope, and it seems to work. So
Well, you said something a while ago, and I think I was going to follow up on it, and I didn't. You were talking about you were treated somewhere else, and you understand now why you would have never got well.
that's right.
First, antibiotics alone. Once that biofilm has been created, antibiotics alone are never going to be enough
To break through the
to
biofilm.
break through the biofilm and deal with the spirochetes and all the other co-infections. But people are trying to help themselves, so they're doing a lot of naturopathic, they're doing vitamins, Chinese herbs, all kinds of things, and we all do that. That's our nature. Believe me, I was online, I got a few things in my refrigerator I ordered back in the day.
Yeah, you do whatever you can.
And I was trying anything to feel better and deal with the pain. But I think one of the side effects, and again, I'm not medical, folks, but is that we start trying stuff at home, and to some degree, and even some of these folks that go to some other doctors that are trying some natural things, they're able to do maybe, I think in some cases, just enough to get your immune system to start working a little better. And then you go into the Herxheimer effect, and the pain, because they don't know what's going on, maybe you become over electrified. There's a host of things that can happen that we understand how to deal with here that most people don't, and so they back off and they quit. Or they stay at home and they're medicating on natural stuff, and never enough to deal with the problem. And so they just have these cycles of pain all the time, And if they don't like this, they can certainly edit this part out, because I am definitely not, the doctor here. But the antibiotic treatment alone is, in fact, we find that those, and we've got some patients that have been on antibiotics for 14 years.
That's huge.
But what we do discover is what all that antibiotic use has done is it's made the Lyme more resistant. It builds up a greater defense against it. And of course, the huge gut problems, that happen. And those gut issues, they are not small. That's not a small potato matter. Them gut issues are huge matters. And we often find that we have to kind of clean up the mess when someone comes here because they didn't get a successful treatment, or who was treating them didn't understand how complicated this was. And so we have to kind of clean up the mess of all of that. Anyhow, this has been a wonderful opportunity for all of us to, first of all, get to meet you folks. And you're one of those. We give you guys, the gold star for being the best patient. And just love that. And you followed protocol. You did what the doctors talked to you about doing, and that's very important once you start treatment, that you follow through, keep the momentum going. And so I don't have anything else to add at this particular point.
No, I just like it here because when we were in, when we did the antibiotics, it was just like they only got through, like they would only treat what they saw and what they knew, but here they get like the bottom and they know like what's all underneath everything.
We get to the bottom of it all. And let's talk. You see, now you got my brain working again.
But results are quicker as well. When I looked at treatment protocol and antibiotics was 3 to 4 years just to get you to remission. And to say that, and I'm looking at my daughter going, she's already lost years of her life, and she was a kid. She can't ever get that back. And then if I think of coming here, and it costs a lot of money, yes, but to get your life back, it's worth it in a short period of time.
And you said so many things that I just want to talk about, but you're right. It is a shorter period of time. I don't believe anybody can do what we do in that timeline that we're talking about. And our laboratories tell us that we do have some of the sickest patients, in America and Canada and around the world. So it does take forensic science, complicated science to get these people well. And the timeline, we work very, very hard. Our doctors will do everything they can. It's in our best interest to get you back to the life that you love as quick as you possibly can get there. You're living out of town. Probably 95% of our patients aren't from here. They're not local.
No, that's true.
This is why we do proprietary testing ahead of time. We don't want you to come here and wait for 3 weeks for tests to get done. So we've designed a wonderful system where we can do our testing before you ever get here. You do that at home while you're as comfortable as you can be. And so when you walk through our doors, we're ready to, let's go. We know what we're doing. And we get to the bottom of that. The forensic testing to see whether you have mold. Understanding that for many of our patients that your initial mold test may be somewhat minimal because the mold is wrapped up in biofilm. 3 weeks later we test you again after we broke through some biofilm, and now your mold numbers are way up. And so we understand that and understand how to treat the other aspects of our body to get your own killer cells up and working for you to benefit you and get to the bottom of these other co-infections that are there. And each one of those co-infections manifest themselves in different ways when it comes to our illness. And this is why you can have a multitude of bugs and have a multitude of symptoms, attacking your body on different levels, and then the awful thing that mold can do, and benzene and these other things. So you mentioned it's expensive, and I feel like our doctors are very, very kind, and they go, we've put pricing together that we try to make that as affordable as we possibly can for our patients, but for what we do. And that's how I want to end that. There's nobody can do what we can do. And we bundle that up. We try to put it as low as possible price that we can. And
I don't think you can put a price on someone's life, is my thing. And I wouldn't do anything to get her better. So.
Well, it's true. And we gladly go in debt for those we love.
That's right. That's right.
We'll
you do what you have to do.
Pay the bill. But that means you owe your mother, big time,
She
right?
owes me big
Big
time.
And someday she's gonna cash in on that, okay? So you make sure you build that mother-in-law suite on your house when you build it, you know? Place for mama to stay,
That's right.
you know? That's gotta be a part of that.
That's right.
We love children. I have 3 daughters and love them all, and they take good care of me and my wife, and got complete
good.
confidence in that. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Again,
Phil.
Spinago Wellness Institute, we're so glad you've been watching this, and there'll be a quick follow-up video to this, so stay tuned, and we're going to see this young lady in action.
Yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3, out. That was fun.
That was good.
47 minutes of it.